What is going on, guys? This is your boy Moto MMA, aka Jason Boss, bringing you another video. If you could, please comment, like, subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. Now I'm going to introduce you to my very first Harley Davidson. Like, I own this bike. I reviewed a couple other Harley Davidsons. I've talked about a few other Harley Davidsons, but I've never actually owned one. So this is my very first one. This is a 2008 Harley Davidson Sportster 1200. It has been modified a little bit here. You can see I have a couple of different pipes. The pipes have been changed. The breather has been changed on there. It is so loud. The engines, some of the engine parts, I think it said it's like a stage 2. So, I mean, yeah, don't quote me on that. I don't know a lot about modifying it, but I do know this bike is very quick. And I do love that so very much. Like, so lightweight. I mean, I know a lot of people like said the Sportsters are beginning bikes or whatever, but I'm telling you, if you have a Sportster, you've in my mind, you've got a good bike. You know what I mean? Especially once you do a little bit of a performance changing to it. You know, forward controls. So I got that put on there. Of course, the backrest is like something different, like that doesn't actually come with it, so it has been modified out a little bit. I paid a really good price for this bike, and I'm going to tell you all about it, the place where I got it, how you can get a bike similar to it at the same place for a really good price. And without further ado, let's get this bike started. Okay, I want you guys to hear this. Whoa, that Harley sound, guys. Wow, that Harley sound, man. I freaking love it. So hopefully you guys can hear me because it's windy as hell. I'm going to get inside to the studio. I'm going to tell you all about the bike. I'm going to tell you where I got it from. Hopefully I can help someone out. And yeah, man, I'm really excited. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Moto MMA, aka Jason Boss, bringing another video. I think I just did 2 introductions, but you know what? We're back inside now. So whatever, this deserves 2 introductions. Today is a very big day for me because I'm going to be talking about my new bike. And it's been a long time coming, guys. I have always really wanted a Harley Davidson, you know what I mean? Even though, you know, I enjoy all motorcycles, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. From metric, you know, bikes to Harleys to sports bikes to sports touring bikes. I enjoy all motorcycles, and I've had a great time riding different motorcycles, but I've actually never owned a Harley Davidson. And because it is such an iconic name in, you know, the motorcycle world, of course you want to know what it's like if you're a cruiser who, you know, who has been on the different types of bikes. You kind of want to know what a Harley is like, you know. That's just the thing. So for me, this was really exciting to finally get on a Harley Davidson and it be my bike. I have rode other people's Harleys, but it's usually like a quick 5-minute ride, like my father-in-law's or my buddy's Fat Boy. You know, like I rode him for like, you know, a 5-10 minute ride or whatever. I never like got to really ride a Harley and break it in and, you know, just get the experience and the feel of just, you know, what it's like to be a Harley Davidson owner. And I gotta say, honestly, in my opinion, it's been pretty cool for me just because it was like a milestone for me. So yeah, now on to the facts about my bike. I wrote it down just so I can make sure that I quote everything right. Now, I have a 2008 Harley Sportster 1200. Those bikes are air-cooled, which I think a lot of the newer Harleys have kind of came over to the liquid-cooled side, because I do believe liquid-cooled to me is better than air-cooled, but, you know, whatever. I can deal with it. I've had a lot of older bikes. I've had a lot of air-cooled bikes, so that doesn't bother me. Up to 79 foot-pounds of torque at 3,500 RPMs. It is a 5-speed transmission, belt driven, has a 4.5 gallon tank, and a wet weight of about 589 pounds. So, all in all, this bike is actually a pretty good bike. You know what I mean? 79 foot-pounds of torque is pretty darn awesome. At the 3,500 RPMs, it is not insane. You know what I mean? This isn't a sports bike. You know what I mean? Or a sports touring bike, something like that. It is like a good mid-range bike. So is it a beginner bike? A lot of people ask that question. Is this a beginner bike? It honestly can be, but I think the thing I like about it, it can be a beginner bike that you can actually be pretty comfortable with it because you can keep up on the highway. You can generally keep up with most rides. Now, if you got the guy that really likes to speed and haul butt, maybe not. But a lot of the other Harleys, here's the difference. You get the bigger baggers, they have bigger displacement engines, but they're also weigh a whole lot more than your Sportster. So therefore, the weight ends up kind of balancing it out where you're still able to keep up, with the rest of the pack and even sometimes beat some of the bigger cruiser motorcycles. I mean, it's just, weight has a lot to do with the motorcycling world. So it is definitely a good bike to, like I say, for a beginner, it's not too bad. You know what I mean? It's a little iffy, you know what I mean? But it's I wouldn't go no higher than 1,200, guys. So it's a little iffy, but it's also good enough bike where it could be like your forever bike or your bike for a year, 2, 3 years, whatever, and you won't have a slow bike. And what I think is cool too, you can do like what happened with my bike. Now I brought my bike this way, guys, so I didn't do any of the upgrades to it. From talking to different people and different things like that, I've been told that my bike has a stage 2 kit put on it. I do not know for a fact because some of the stage 2 kit I think has something to do with the cams and stuff like that. And obviously I'm, having like took the bike apart and all that kind of stuff to see if anything like that has been changed. I'm not going to take the bike apart to see if anything like that has been changed. But I definitely know, from looking at the outside, it at least has a stage 1 kit put on there. I don't think it's a Harley stage 1. Okay? From looking at it, it looks like it is a aftermarket stage 1 kit at least. And it could possibly be a stage 2. So that's something else I like about the Sportster, you know what I mean? And a lot of the Harleys in general, they have a lot of aftermarket parts. So you can take a bike from, this to this in no time. You can literally turn a bike into 2, 3, 4 different bikes. You know what I mean? With all the different kits and stages you can go through. So you can make this bike last you a lifetime and get a lot more power and performance at it. Now I've heard in this particular state that sometimes it can get all the way up to 110 horsepower, depending upon who you brought the stage 2 kit and all that kind of stuff from. I do not know whether mine get 110 horsepower or not. I've not had Tino Tune. And because I brought it this way with already the performance enhancing kits on it, it was already kind of a quick bike when I brought it. I don't know the difference between one Sportster 2008 model and my Sportster 2008 model. I don't know the difference because this is how I brought it. And I will say for me, it is a very fun, very zippy bike compared to a lot of other bikes that I rode. You guys have seen my channel. I've been on tons of different bikes. And this bike just feels just that much more quicker. And it is a very nimble bike because I've always liked the smaller, lighter bikes because, like I told you guys before, the smaller, lighter bikes, what I like about them, I feel like I got more control of them because of the weight, you know what I mean? I can toss and put them around curves and turns, and you just don't have to worry about that balance quite as much because they weigh so little. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, less weight, you get blown around, maybe a little bit more things like that. Quite possibly, you know what I mean? But I've not had a lot of problems with that, being blown from one side to another. Plus, the rider itself, I'm a fairly big guy, so I think I make up enough for a little bit of the extra weight that I needed. Maybe if I was like a lighter guy on that lighter bike, that wind and things like that may become more of a factor for me. But I'm a bigger guy, so I don't have that problem. Now, with that being said, I have my way my controls are set up. With the four controls or whatever. Do I feel like I am cramped? Because I am 6 foot. I weigh roughly 289 pounds. Do I feel cramped on this bike? No. I actually feel like I got plenty of room on it. I have no problem, shifting gears. My knees are not all the way up forward. Now I couldn't put floorboards on it for me. I'm too big, to have like the floorboards and the heel toe shifter because it would bring it back more, which would bring my knees, up more. So that for me wouldn't be as comfortable. So I like the way it's set up now. It's perfect for me and my size. Um, so if that's something that you kind of want, and you're a bigger guy, you want something maybe with like the floorboards and the heel toe shifter and all that kind of stuff. It may not be for you because you might feel a little cramped. The bike is a skinnier bike. It's kind of long, but it's still a skinny enough bike where for a bigger guy, like I say, it could cause some problems as far as like comfortability goes when you start changing, where your gear shifters and stuff like that are. But for me, I love the way my bike was set up. Whoever set it up before, maybe they were a bigger guy, maybe they were just someone that just wanted it like that because it doesn't come like that. But that's pretty awesome. I love it. It floats through the gears. Okay, now coming from a perspective from a guy who has only like mostly ridden, a lot of Japanese cruisers or whatever have you, and Harley, is there a big difference? I'm gonna say yes for sure. I feel like Harleys seem to naturally have a little bit more rumble and vibration. I mean, you feel it from the whole entire time you own it. The bike is like boom, 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 and you're almost like vibrating. The rumble is like definitely there. I've heard like a lot of Harley stuff. You have to check some of your bolts and things like that from time to time to make sure things are still fastened and tightened because it does seem to vibrate just a little bit more than the average like Japanese bike does because it does have such a deeper, throatier engine sound. You know what I mean? And I love it. I do love the sound of the Harley. You know what I mean? What is the top speed that I've had the bike up to? Now, I've heard you can get this bike all the way up to about 120 miles per hour. I've never had it near 120 miles per hour. I probably will never have it near 120 miles per hour. The top I've had it, you know what I mean? About 75, 80, and I cruised, you know what I mean? All day long. I didn't have any problems. There was nowhere near redlining. It was very comfortable, you know what I mean? So, I know at least the highway mileage, like I say, and me being a 6 foot, 289 pound guy, I can get up to highway speed and I can still pass easy. You know what I mean? So even if you are a bigger guy, I think this bike would fit you well, especially if you're a bigger guy on a budget. You couldn't really afford to jump up from, no Harley to, I don't know, the Ultra Glide or something like that. You know what I mean? Where you just didn't have the money. Like the 1200 will fit you just right, and I definitely think you'll enjoy it. Now, I want to put a special shout out to the place I brought this bike from, guys. This was a little different. Now, I've been straight up honest with you guys in the past. My credit is not the best in the world. Your boy's trying, but you know what I mean. He's still got a few issues here and there. I'm right in the sixes there. So I decided I still wanted to get a Harley, but I didn't want to, really fool with Harley Davidson because I tried them before and, they were like, maybe we can get you in this 883. I didn't want an 883. So I went to a place in Indianapolis, Indiana. This is Indianapolis, Indiana. I don't know if you don't live in this area, you may not have this place. The place is called Joe's Auto Sale. Now, I'm going to get a card out. Hold on. Give me a second here. Now, Joe's Auto Sale. I don't know if you guys can see that. Hopefully you can get that in there. And I'll make sure I shout them out. Either way, they're pretty awesome. They're pretty awesome because it is actually one of the only buy here, pay here car slash motorcycle. That's right, motorcycle dealership on a buy here, pay here program. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, buy here, pay here doesn't help your credit, boss. You can't do that, man. And the interest rates. What about the interest rates at them buy here, pay here? Well, Joe's actually does report you to the credit bureau. Every payment you make, they report it just like they would if you were, going through Harley Davidson or another place. They actually have their own little way of structuring the loans, their own little banks that they take care of, and they get you a bank loan, guys. And they're going to definitely approve you a whole lot easier than any other place. So you still get the buy here, pay here, feel where you didn't have to like have A plus credit, but it helps you gain that A plus credit because they're going to report every payment you make to the credit bureau, guys. That is so awesome. So I wish there was more places out there that would like help people who are trying to get that credit and do things that they want to do to get started and still make sure that they get into a bike. You can't hardly find that nowadays. But Joe's Auto Sale in Indianapolis, Indiana, totally helped me out. It was Joe's Auto Sale on the south side. Uh, that was the one that I went to. I loved it. You know what I mean? Come check those guys out. I recommend them any day of the week. So yeah, we got a new bike on the channel. We're gonna have a ton of different things we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna get out there and give it that 100 miles, review. I'm gonna see how the difference, hopefully between a Harley stage, one stage two, and what I have on my bike. I definitely want to have that kind of checked out, maybe a little more, just so I can know what has been done on my bike and different things like that. I think that would be just cool, to figure out all together, guys. Either way, man, I'm just so excited, man. I feel blessed. The Lord has really helped me kind of come up, you know what I mean? And now I'm in my very first Harley Davidson, and that's pretty cool. All right, guys, that's enough of my rant for the day. If you could, please comment, like, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. It's your boy, Moto MMA, a.k.a. Jason Ball, saying thank you guys so very much for watching. Peace.